Hey everyone, and welcome to the $1 million portfolio journey. It is Tuesday, the 26th of August 2025. It's around 4:40 here in London, and I'm going to do my investment for the day. But just before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a portfolio update to see how the portfolio is doing, and then I'm going to be transferring £250 from my current account into my ISA account. I'm going to be checking how much of my allowance I have remaining for my ISA. Then I'm going to be investing another £250 into Tesla, and also I'm just going to be looking at how the companies are doing: Tesla, MicroStrategy, and Nvidia. So let's get into it. So let's have a look at the portfolio as a whole. So I've got a general investment account, I've got a stocks and shares ISA account, and I also have a self-invested personal pension account, which is a SIP. So my general investment account is just over 49k. My stocks and shares ISA is now over 30k, and my self-invested personal pension is just under 52k. When I add all my brokerage accounts together for me and my family, we are at about $200,000, which is about 5x away from $1 million. So that's the goal of this channel, to get to £1 million as soon as possible. So that's the portfolio update. Let's have a look at how the shares are doing now. So I'm invested mainly in three companies: Tesla, MicroStrategy, and Nvidia. So let's have a look at Tesla today. So today Tesla is around 345.24. It's very flat today, so no real movement. It's at a significant resistance line. So if it breaks out of this line, then it will probably go to 360, and then if it breaks the 360 barrier, then it's most likely to go to 400. So exciting times ahead. So I'm trying to invest as much money as possible into Tesla, because obviously this is a long-term strategy, and I'm going to try and dollar cost average as much as possible, but I want to get the most amount of shares for my money. So that's Tesla. Let's have a look at MicroStrategy now. So MicroStrategy 343.33. So today strategy again is flat like Tesla, so no significant movement. They're both trading around the same level, around $345. Both of the price targets are very similar. My 2030 price target for Tesla is actually $3,000. For MicroStrategy is 2,800. So whichever one I buy now, it doesn't really make a significant difference, but I believe in Tesla. I think it will, 3,000 is a very, very bear case scenario that I have for Tesla for 2030. I think it's going to go up even more. For strategy is also a bear case, but I think, it doesn't have as much momentum as a Tesla will in the future. So Tesla has the potential to go to $5,000 to $8,000 in 2030. Strategy has the potential to go to $2,800 to $4,000. So I think Tesla makes more sense. So put more money into Tesla compared to strategy. So that's MicroStrategy, and they've been accumulating a lot of Bitcoin recently. They purchased another 3,000 Bitcoin. They did the ATM, which is they sold their preferred stock on the open market to raise money to buy Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, it's inevitable that it's going to go up in the future. It might have a 30% drawdown. That's fine, but within 5 to 10 years, Bitcoin will be rising and strategy will rise as well. So both Tesla and strategy for me are no-brainers. And if it does go down, I see it as a buying opportunity. So I see it as like, a Porsche on sale, for example. So if a Porsche is like $200,000, I'm getting it for 100,000, then I'm very happy with that, because a Porsche is a Porsche, Tesla is Tesla, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. You can't, dispute that. So let's have a look at Nvidia now. So Nvidia is trading around 181, so near its all-time highs at the moment. If it breaks 181, who knows where it could go. I've got some shares in Nvidia, but I think it's getting ahead of itself, so I'm probably gonna sell and then buy some more Tesla or MicroStrategy, and then try and get more into Nvidia as well. So Nvidia has been a good trade for me. I've taken a lot of profit from Nvidia and pumped it into MicroStrategy and Tesla. So again, it's been good rotating from Nvidia into Tesla or MicroStrategy. So those are the three companies that I hold. So let's do this trade. So I'm in my ISA account now. I'm gonna see how much I have remaining. So I have 8978.98 remaining in my ISA. So I have until April 31st to try and max out the ISA for myself, my family. So I'm going to always max the ISA out first, then the SIPs, and then go into the general investment account. It just makes sense, because if you think about it, with an ISA, you don't have to pay any capital gains tax, and with a SIP you get tax relief at source. So hopefully the growth is going to be more than what I take out when I reach retirement age. And I'm always going to stay within my personal allowance when it comes to taking money out of my pension, and I'll probably take my 25% out straight away and then put it in an ISA or something like that. So again, those are the moves I'm making. So I'm always being tax efficient with my account, because if you think about it, inflation is taking value away, taxation is taking value away. So you exchange your time for money. So you work, you get money, and then that money, as soon as you get it, is getting devalued through debasement, through inflation, through taxation. And I used to work for the government, so I know UK government. So I know, when they work out inflation, it's not 2 to 3%. It's much worse than that. There's a lot of things that are done to try and reduce that figure. But if we take into account the real cost, if we look at it like, in an unbiased way, then you will see that inflation is so much higher. It's probably like 10, 15, maybe even 20% when you take into account the amount of money that's printed, the debasement that's happening to your currency, and the purchasing power parity that you have for each pound that you hold. So again, you have to try and beat taxation, you have to try and beat inflation, you have to try and beat debasement. You have to at least have a 30% compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 30% or more, or to try and beat all this, try and stay ahead. So that's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully you'll be inspired by these videos and you will do the same yourself. So let's do this. So I'm going to top up another £250 from my Barclays current account, and it's going to go straight into my ISA. It's pretty instantaneous. Okay, so I'm going to continue now. So usually it goes from my current account into my free trade account like within seconds. So it's arrived now. So it's available for me to do my investment. So £250, 75 is in there. Now let's go back into the portfolio. Go into Tesla. It's a 345.12 at the moment. I think I'll be able to buy just about one share in Tesla, just about. So let me check. Actually, I can't. It's 0.9739 shares in Tesla. So I'm going to review the order, put the order through. So it's an instant order, goes through, zero commission, and when I sell, it's going to be zero commission as well. So it makes it easier to rotate between these assets. So let's have a look. So order status complete, total cost 250.39, number of shares 0.9742, price per share 345.03. So anything near 300, especially when I have a price target of 3,000, I'm very, very near. This is going to be a 10x investment for me, so I'm very near the 300 mark. So from 300 to 3000 10x. So the more closer I am to 300, the better. If it goes under 300, that's even better. So I don't think it's gonna go below 300 again, but you know, these, you never know with Tesla. But if it does, I'm still gonna be a buyer. I've been buying for a very long time. I still have confidence in Tesla. Fundamentally, nothing has changed in the company. They're just growing. They have so many ideas. They have um so many income streams that are gonna come into action in the future. So it's just a matter of time. Just have to be patient and just watch it. Like, just think of it as baking a cake. You put in all the ingredients and you're just waiting for the timer to stop, and you're gonna get your cake soon. So that's the order complete. FX fee of 0.97 pounds, commission 0, so that's done. So that's my investment done. Let's have a quick look at the portfolio now. So general investment account just under 50k, stocks and shares just over 30k, SIP just under 52k. With my general investment account, I'm gonna try to move money from there into my stocks and shares. I don't want this to grow too much because I'm gonna be subjected to capital gains tax. So I'm gonna try and move across as much as I can for next year, and I'm gonna keep on doing that until I get the general investment account down to 0. So that's the plan. So stocks and shares ISA just under 30.5k, SIP just under 52k. So everything going in the right direction, but I don't want it to move too fast, too quickly right now. I want to, I wish I was in a position where I had like 300, 400, 500k invested at these levels, because then when I experience the 10x, it's gonna like have a better compounding effect. But all I can do now is just dollar cost average into the company. So that's my investment done for the day. I'm getting a lot of new subscribers to my channel, so welcome. So for anyone who's new to the channel, the purpose, the aim, the goal of this channel, the thing that I want to get to is I want to get to $1 million as soon as possible. And the way I'm gonna get there is I have 4 very simple rules. So rule number 1 is I invest for the long term. So I want to get to my million, but doesn't mean I'm gonna sell it as soon as I get to $1 million. My next target is gonna be 10 million, then possibly 100 million if it's possible. But yeah, I've got some big plans ahead, and I want to try and get to that million. But whatever I buy today, I'm not going to sell it for the next 5 years. Yeah, I might sell and rotate into another asset. For example, if Tesla is like getting ahead of itself and it's gone to 2000, and it looks like it's going to come down for a breather, and MicroStrategy is like at 100 and their NAV premium is at 0.3 or something, then obviously I'm going to switch some Tesla into MicroStrategy and things like that to try and get more, to get my growth up higher. So it's very, very much a long-term portfolio. I'm not going to cash it in, and I'm going to try and keep it for at least 10 years. So that's the first rule. Second rule is I'm a very aggressive investor, so I try to invest at least £250 every day the market is open. I try to invest 500 for a bit. I try to invest 1,000 for a bit. It didn't work, but I'll get there. I will get there one day. I have aspirations to invest about £500 a day, and then maybe £1,000 a day every day the stock market is open. So watch this space. I'm going to try and get there. And that's rule number 2, aggressive investing. Rule number 3 is volatile investing. So I invest in volatility stocks. It is very painful when it goes down by 30-40%, but what can you do? You can't do a lot about it. You just have to have the courage and the balls to continue and not throw in the towel. So that's the main thing. Don't throw in the towel. If you believe in your investments, don't throw in the towel, because then you're going to be a fool when it starts to 10x, and you're going to say, why did I do that? So believe in your investment thesis, be convicted, have a lot of conviction in your investment thesis, and you have to weather the storm. You have to go through the bad times and the good times, and then you'll get to your goal. So like in investment, like in life, it's like in investment as well. So That's rule number 3, volatile investing. And finally, rule number 4 is tax efficient, which is one of the most important, I think. So, we have to, there's so many things that we have to fight against. So, like, we're fighting against inflation, we're fighting against inflation because what we get today is worth so much less tomorrow in terms of work. There's no storing value when it comes to fiat. There's no store at all, because if you've done £100 worth of work and next year it's worth £80, like, it's it doesn't make sense to me that, but obviously because of monetary policy, because of money printing and quantitative easing, it's always going to be like this. So you have to try and beat inflation, you have to try and beat currency, you have to try and beat debasement. There's so many things that are working against you that you cannot see, is hidden. So you have to try and know these things, and you have to say, okay, I know a lot of these things are working against me. No point fighting about it, no point crying about it. What I need to do is I need to CAGR, compound annual growth rate. I need a CAGR of at least 30% of more. So what investment will give me a 10x return in 5 years? That's how you have to think about it to stay ahead of taxation, inflation, debasement, currency, money printing, so many things that you have to consider. So that's why I'm big in Tesla and strategy, because that's Bitcoin and AI, which has a chance of beating inflation and taxation, which are two of the most insidious things around today, because it just takes your money away. It just robs you of your value if you think about it. So that's rule number 4, being a very tax efficient investor. So I always invest in my ISA first, so max out my ISAs for me and my family, then max out the SIPs for myself and my family, and then whatever I have, I put it into a general investment account. But I know, I need to do something with that money, somehow get it into my SIP or ISA before the profits run away. So that's all for today. Hopefully you found it hopefully you found the update useful, entertaining, and join me on this journey. Join me, like, I see it as a journey of beating inflation, money printing, quantitative easing, taxation. So all these things are, like, working against you from day one, and you have to use your brain to try and get a 10x return in 5 years to try and mitigate the effects of what the government is doing. So join me, see if I can get to 1 million, see if I can get to 10 million, see if I can get to 100 million. Who knows? You never know. Weirder things have happened. So yeah, so join me tomorrow for another portfolio update. I'll be investing another £250 into the stock market. I'm going to be buying Tesla again. This is the time when I'm going to be relentless with Tesla. I want to buy as much as possible before it runs away over 400, because I think it's going to happen now. But if it doesn't, I don't really care. My price target is for 2030. So yeah, so I will do my update again tomorrow. So until then, have a great day and take care of yourself. Goodbye.